Just one quick comment. I, along with everybody else, was extremely impressed with the meeting today. One of the positive points that I would like to mention is that there's been discussion about the parking, quite a bit of discussion about the parking. The Rockingham Planning Commission has just completed a 4-year study of Route 1 corridor study from Portsmouth to Seabrook. And within that study, one of the most important parts of it relates specifically to Hampton, and that was a suggestion for a multimodal transportation center located at the junction of Route 101 and 1. So you're going to be hearing a lot about that. One of the reasons I bring that up is because it was mentioned by 2 or 3 different people, and I don't want others getting totally involved in it when a lot of the work has already been done. Thank you.
I'll try to be brief. Going back to public comment, one gentleman said that we have a master plan which has implementation strategies, and I'm just glancing at that, and there are some focused on what we've been talking about today, and it's economy and tourism, and some of those recommendations are focusing on year-round residency and extending the season and reinvestment in the lodging property. So it's all along the lines of what we've been talking about today. So I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. I've heard some new ideas. I know as far as what I do, working on zoning, the form-based codes. I know City of Dover has just implemented those for their downtown areas. They recently received a planning award for that effort. So that's something that I can look into. Also, I provided recently, as some of you know, York Beach, or the Village District, I guess. York Beach has implemented design guidelines, and they hired a firm that came in and created those, and they've got some nice visuals. And from what I've seen, it looks like it being along the lines of what we're looking at as far as future development and redevelopment. So I'd be glad to assist wherever I can in these efforts.
I just want to say we did pass a warrant article this year that mandates some retail space in the center of the beach to continue to have businesses down here for pedestrian traffic, that they can go in and out and keep a commercial presence here. I applaud all the business owners that keep reinvesting in the beach and improving their properties and make it look nice, but we do not have anything that has any teeth that can tell people what to look like. I mean, Puritan is redeveloping their place, and all we could do was ask them not to do garage doors. So that's just my comment. I think the biggest bang for the buck is to make this beach eye candy again. That's to make it attractive. People want to come here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mark Carbonneau from Ocean Bank.
One of the challenges with speaking this late in the game is most everything's already been said, so I'll try not to repeat any of that. I would say we see a lot of the same faces here at this event and a lot of other chamber things, and these are essentially the movers and shakers of this area. If there's one thing that we could probably try to take away from this today as a to-do item, is how do we get a few more businesses involved? There are several business operators that have been in the area for long periods of time, but you never see them. They show up in the spring, they open up, and they close down in the fall, and they're long gone. So if there's a way we could do some outreach there. Other things that I've seen successful neighboring communities, or things with respect to like Main Street community developments, is the hiring of a economic development staff person, whether it's on a short-term contract basis or or a long term. Someone that can focus and spend the time, such as one gentleman that spoke up in the public session earlier, which was how do we go about seeking out the type of businesses on a full-time basis and bringing them in rather than on a reactive basis and see who wants to bring a project to town. Enough said about that. With respect to the banking community, we're talking here at a local and regional level. You're all talking about access to capital, and banks really do want to lend. Even though you've heard a lot in the media that things, yes, have things tightened up on the credit markets, of course, it's a point in time right now. But banks are trying to lend money out there, and we're looking to work with regional partners such as the Rockingham Economic Development, Seacoast Economic Development, CDFA. There are other programs out there. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. You know, the town has stepped forward. Now the state has stepped forward. So where are those federal people? So we have 3 representatives from our two U.S. senators and our congresswoman. And I really want you all 3 to be able to go back to the senators and congresswomen and give them the feedback that you heard today. Because I think that's really important. Some folks were saying that, you know, this is a big group of people, which shows that there is this passion down here. And since Dan Gray already suggested he was going to rent a couple of buses for us all to go down to Washington to get some earmark money, I think it'd be appropriate that you make sure that the 2 senators and congresswomen make them aware that we're on our way. So saying that, I do want to give Matt and Scott and Chuck just an opportunity if they wanted to say something at this point. So let's start with Scott.